Hello everyone, a very good evening. Welcome to Oliveboard. I am Anshul, your CAIIB mentor, and today I'm here with a very important session for you. So, your registrations for the CAIIB November December 2025 exam have started. You already have the dates for your exam. Now, what should be your study plan for the next few months, for the days that are left before your exam, so that you can prepare well, you can complete your syllabus in a manner that will guarantee your success. So, this is what we are going to discuss. This is what is our objective of this session today. So, first, the registrations have started on 2nd of September, and the last day to register is 22nd. Try to register by 15th, or if possible in the first week of registration itself, to avoid any late fee. Also, as we approach the end of the registration window, there's a lot of traffic on the site. So to make sure that our registration is complete, there's no issue in the payment, try to register as soon as possible. Then, if we look at the dates of our exam, your first exam is on 30th of November, that is of your ABM. On 7th of December, you have your BFM paper. On 13th, you have your ABFM, and 14th is your BRBL. And last exam on 21st, you have your elective paper. Now, every time since the last two exam cycles, you are getting 1 week time at least during the exam cycle before your BRBL paper. But this time, there is no gap between ABFM and BRBL. So, you need to manage your time efficiently, right? So at that time, you'll have to revise both your ABFM and BRPL paper in this 7 week time that you have. Thus, it is important that you utilize this month of September, October, and November to prepare all your five papers. Now, what should be your strategy for the BRBL paper? The BRBL paper, which is completely theoretical, conceptual, it has many things to remember. You have to study about so many acts, right from those acts which relate to your bank, like the recovery of loans, you have SARFAESI Act, you have RDB Act, how the banks play a role in the prevention of money laundering. There are some completely unrelated commercial acts also that you need to study, like the Companies Act, Partnership Act, Information Technology, Consumer Protection. So, what should be your strategy? How you should prioritize the topics that are the most expected topics, the most repeated topics. So, if we discuss about our BRBL paper, so we have four modules that we need to cover. Module A, which has 7 units, basically two acts are here: the Banking Regulation Act and the RBI Act. The whole module A revolves around these two acts only. What is the legal framework of the banks? How does the RBI control the organization of banks? How the RBI controls the banking business? The winding up, mergers, the paid up capital requirement, share capital, the directors, everything is there in your module A. Then module B is the important acts, legal aspects of banking operations. So here also you need to study 7 units, and basically one is your PMLA, Negotiable Instruments Act, Foreign Exchange Management Act, Payment and Settlement Systems Act, and fifth, the Transfer of Property, a brief about the law relating to securities and mode of charge. So the different types of mortgages, assignment, set off, these things you need to study in your module B. Module C is the most important. Module C and Module D together have the highest weightage. Around 65 to 70% of the weightage in your paper will be from Module C and Module D. Module C has some very important acts like the SARFAESI Act, the Ombudsman Scheme, the Recovery of Debts and Bankruptcy Act, right? Some other not important acts like the Bankers Books Evidence Act or the Law of Limitation, tax laws, these are also there. But overall, the whole module C is very important. Very important. Similarly, module D is also very important. You have to study about the Indian Contract Act, the Sale of Goods Act, Companies Act, Partnership Act. You'll be studying about the Limited Liability Partnerships, the Transfer of Property Act, RTI, IT Act, Prevention of Corruption. Okay, so if we talk about the priority, first priority should be given to module C and module D. Both together hold 65 to 70% weightage. Then comes your module B, which is third on our priority list. You can expect around 15 to 20 mark questions from here, and from module A, 5 to 10 mark questions. All right. Module B and A, although they hold around 30-35% weightage, do not skip these two modules. The sections are asked from Module A, the various sections of the Banking Regulation Act, like what are the prohibited business for banks, what are the permitted business, Section 8. Then you need to study about the RRBs, what is their share capital, how the sponsor bank works for the SFBs, NBFCs, the most important unit for the Module A, right? So the scale based supervision of NBFCs, which NBFCs come in the base layer, middle layer, upper layer, top layer, very important topics. All right, so do not skip module A and B thinking that it is not important. Your priority should be C and D. But what will happen? And if the institute wants to make the paper difficult, it will ask some question that is completely very difficult, or it is a very difficult case study. To avoid such situation, make sure that you study the module A and B as well. All right. Okay. Next, if we talk about the types of questions that are asked in your exam, in the BRBL paper to be specific, there are fact-based MCQs, direct MCQs with four options. Maximum, this type of question is asked. Statement type question in which you'll be asked for multiple selection. So four or five statements will be given to you, and then you'll have to select from among these which one are correct. Case study questions, these are lengthy questions in which directly the institute is not going to ask you the concept. They will give you the scenario. From that scenario, you will have to understand what is the correct answer. And then sometimes there will be no option question also, right? The total marks for the BRBL paper, although is 100, but the questions can be more or less than 100. That is, you can have 0.5 mark question, 1 mark question, and 2 mark question as well. No numerical, no mathematical part is there in this paper. So that is a plus point. But there are many concepts to remember. So you'll have to put in a little more effort in your BRBL paper. All right, so I hope the basics are clear. Now let us discuss about the syllabus, each and every chapter. First, we have the legal framework of regulation of banks. In module A, like I said, Banking Regulation Act and RBI Act. These two acts you need to study, right? The legal framework of regulation of banks, the definition of banks, the permitted and the prohibited business, how the which are the types of banks in India, their constitution, how does government exercise control over the cooperative bank or the scheduled banks. Second unit, control over organization, licensing of the banking companies, what is the paid up capital and reserve requirement, the board of directors, chairperson, whole time and part time, restrictions on employment of the chairpersons, regulation of banking business, again, how the loans and advances are regulated, the interest rate, how is it decided, the MCLR, base rate, the external benchmarks, what is how the payment systems are regulated, interest rate on deposits are regulated. These things are there in the unit 3. Unit 4 talks about the returns, inspection, winding up, mergers and acquisition. How do the banks they need to prepare their annual accounts and balance sheet? When do they need to submit and to whom? The balance sheet, the profit and loss account, the publication of these accounts and balance sheet. How does the government, the court, they order for their winding up mergers or acquisition, how the scheme is prepared, everything. Then unit 5 deals with the all the types of banks in India, the State Bank of India, RRBs, public sector bank, the cooperative banks, private sector banks, differentiated banks, where you will be studying about the SFBs and the payment banks and the local area banks. Then unit 6 is the most important unit from module A, the NBFCs, provisioning requirements, prudential guidelines, the revised scale based regulatory structure. These are the important topics. And Unit 7, which is not that important, basically the financial sector legislative reforms. So, the recommendations made by the Narasimham Committee 1 and 2, and the role of the FSDC. All right. From these unit, the most important unit is sixth, then fourth, and some parts of the unit 1, 2, and 5. All right. Then module B again is very important in the Prevention of Money Laundering Act. There's the chapter 4 that you need to study. It is very important. It talks about the role of the banking companies in the prevention of money laundering, right? So, which type of records have to be maintained, how the records have to be maintained, which information is to be contained in the record. If the cash transactions are beyond a certain limit, the record has to be kept for 5 years. Then we have the Negotiable Instruments Act, where you will be studying about the features of a bill of exchange, a promissory note, a check. What is the protection? There are some important sections like section 140, 138, 143A, 141, where protection is given to the payee bank as well as the collecting bank. FEMA again is another important act. What are the how the regulation of foreign exchange is done, how the authorized persons work, what are the contraventions and penalties. Payment and Settlement Systems Act, if any entity wants to set up a payment system, what are the requirements for the registration and licensing, how do they apply to RBI for the license. Again, prior approval for making any change, RBI has the powers to cancel their registration as well. Unit 5 and Unit 6. Unit 5 deals with the different types of mortgages, a very important topic. So you'll be studying about the registered mortgage, equitable mortgage, conditional sale, usufructuary mortgage. Then in the Unit 13 here, you'll be studying about appropriation, assignment, pledge, hypothecation, and the Unit 14, which is the creation, registration, and satisfaction of charges. What is a charge? What is a fixed charge? A floating charge? The procedure for registration, effect of non-registration of charges. All right, so this is the module B. Then comes the module C, the acts that you need to study here. All the acts are extremely important. The Ombudsman Scheme, MSMED Act, SURFACE Act, RDB Act, IBC Code. The Bankers Books Evidence Act is not that important. The Legal Services Act, where we'll be studying about the Lok Adalat. The Consumer Protection Act, the district authorities, central authorities, state authorities, their jurisdiction, law of limitation, and again tax laws are not important. In the module C, except the Bankers Books Evidence Act, Law of Limitation, and tax laws, all the other acts are extremely important. Similarly, in module D as well, all the acts are important, right? So the Indian Contract Act, Sale of Goods Act, the Companies Act, LLPs, Transfer of Property, RTI, Prevention of Corruption, right? So this is the whole syllabus breakdown of your BRBL paper. Now, what should be your strategy? You have less than 3 months remaining for your exams. Your exams are starting on 30th of November. So you need to have a strategy so that you can complete your syllabus in this limited time. Also, you need time for revision, practicing, mock test. So simply, what should be your strategy? Your strategy will be here in the crash course for the November-December 2025 session, which is starting from 13th of September. We are starting this crash course from 13th of September. All your compulsory papers, 100 plus live sessions, mock tests, we are going to focus on the high priority topics. The topics that we just discussed that are extremely important, the most repeated ones, and also those are definitely expected in our coming exam. The medium for this crash course will be in complete English medium. You are going to get the PDF notes, mock tests, every other thing. So, to know the details, you can visit the Oliveboard website. And another option is that simply you can join the CAIIB Super Elite all in one plan where you are going to get access to all the foundation courses, the practice sessions, crash, cracker batch, everything. You'll also get specialized sessions on the previous year papers, 140 plus chapter wise summarized notes, case study, numerical, elective paper test, everything. So, this is the all in one plan. And if you subscribe now, before 6th of September, you can have 57% off on your subscription. Use the code TDAY and avail this 57% off, right? So I hope the strategy, the whole syllabus of the BRBL paper is clear. If you have any questions, any doubts, you can let me know in the comment section. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the Olive Board JIB CIB English Medium channel because we'll be bringing these important sessions on a daily basis for you. Subscribe to the crash course now and join us in the live classes and guarantee your success in this exam session. So thank you. All the best.